Hello! Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast episode. Bobby is here, and he's going to take over the intro because I just shat the bed. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, they caught us a bit by surprise. I'm Bobby.
I'm Amanda.
I'm still confused. I don't know what that was, or we didn't go over that. Usually, Christian's very regimented, but not today. Today, he he did that, and here's the show, guys. Here's
He
the
did
show.
that.
And here we are.
How was everybody's weekend?
Pretty solid. I didn't do shit except play a lot of video games.
That's what we like here at the
Mhm.
DLG.
Yeah.
Bobby?
About the same for me. So this weekend I had the usual amount of free time. Next weekend is going to be really difficult for me. I'm going to be working all weekend, but that's okay. Sometimes you got to do that. We don't have Nick with here today because he is moving into his new house in Texas, getting settled in. It looks like, or is he making the drive? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he's
making
starting the drive probably
from
tomorrow, I would
Atlanta
guess,
to
or maybe today. I
Texas.
don't know.
Do we have his
Okay.
address? Maybe we can just do a quick little doxy poo.
It's Texas.
It's Texas.
His address. Yeah.
Somewhere in
there.
Texas.
Okay.
Can't
Yeah.
be far.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas is such a small state. I'm sure it'd be really easy to find him.
Mhm.
Amanda's like, I played video games all weekend, and Bobby's like, yeah, me too. She's like,
I
that's
had
the
a weird
goal,
week,
man.
I had a weird week. I mean, I couldn't really get into anything in particular, so it was kind of a light smattering of games, which I'll talk about later. But let's talk about games that are on our radar, games that have come to our attention. We've talked about this one before, the Outlast Trials. This one is the only reason I put it up again is because we have a release date, which I don't think we had before. It is coming out May 18th. If you don't know what Outlast is, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast. I mean, everybody knows this game, right? It was
God
like the
damn.
classic horror survival game, one of those run and hide games. This one looks like it's going to be more of the same. You know, I love the original ones. Never finished the second one though. But this one is going to be co-op. That's the whole big thing. It also takes place in Russia in the past, like maybe about 70 years ago in the past, and you're part of this testing facility where they're running a bunch of tests on people in the science lab. But the multiplayer, the co-op angle could be really good for this. Although I wonder how that plays out in a horror game. Maybe they're trying to take a little piece of that phasmophobia co-op horror pie, but we'll
Mhm.
see how it goes. May 18th.
Cool. Bobby doing the gatekeeping here in the DLG. Bobby, I don't know why you didn't put this on your radar. Did you see that someone had put, or somebody made Jedi Outcast VR, and it's on the
Yeah.
Oculus systems. I don't know if that means it's not on the Steam side of things. But yeah, apparently it's pretty great. I don't know if it's a full release, but from what I read in the small article, there are some pretty big bugs in it, but it doesn't matter because the game and playing the game in that perspective is so much fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to just sit there with a lightsaber, you know, like in VR. It'll feel so real. Then I'll be a real Jedi.
You
Well,
would.
they had that Vader game, right? Vader Immortal.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that was. I heard it was really good, but very short. Jedi Outcast was a good game. I mean, that's basically a newer version of Dark Forces 2. You know, it came out shortly afterwards, and I think it was the last game in the Jedi Knight or the Dark Forces series. But that's the one that got modded into, what do they call it? Movie Battles. Movie Battles was a super popular mod that people still play that uses that game and turns it into like a class-based shooter almost. Um, but yeah, people won't let these games go, man. They hold up. These were really good games, even to this day. I think they hold up.
Are you in possession
Yeah.
of the Oculus one, Bobby?
The Oculus, yeah, but it's broken. I think it's
Throw it
got
in the
this
trash, dude.
black.
Just shoot
Yeah,
it.
it's an Oculus one,
Yeah.
but it's got this black spot, and I thought like, oh, there's a smudge on here or something. No, it's like part of the screen is damaged in it. So
We
Oh no.
how did I don't even remember how we got the development kit for the
Chad got that.
did he?
Yeah,
Through
the very
Sony. Oh, that's
first
what it was.
Oculus, Chad got. They
Yeah.
called it like the DK1 or something.
Yeah, the DK one, yeah. And then
Yeah.
it made me want to throw up after playing it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, it was like looking through a screen door. The graphics
Yeah.
were just absolutely terrible on those.
Yeah, but it was cool that we got something early.
Yeah.
Mm.
Speaking
of,
about something early, what about getting crabs?
Wow, that just you shit right on my transition. It's all good, dude. That's the theme of the show, but it's all right. We're gonna retake this, and you know what? I'm gonna be a champion with this shit. So speaking of which, Crab Champions. That's the game that I put on the radar. It was released on April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke, though it fucking might as well be, because it's pretty hilarious. You're a crab, and it is a action roguelike third-person shooter where once again you're a crab, and this was rated overwhelmingly positive, but I mean, how could it not be? You can be this little crab hipping and hopping around, dual pistols shooting all these other crabs, and you're trying to be the most powerful crab that you could possibly ever become.
The crabbiest crab.
The crabbiest crab of crabs. Yeah, and so it looks just awesome. It is basically a looter shooter that runs about 20 to 40 minutes with runs. And you can select an option to where you just loop endlessly to try and survive as long as you can of just waves of crabs that you're fighting and other people that you're fighting, because this is a multiplayer game. So you can fight each other. And it looks like you get different guns and you can kind of dodge and jump around. This game looks fucking stupid, and I love it for that. So, yeah, it is $10. And so, like I said, rated overwhelmingly positive by 98%.
Do you
So
guys
it
like
looks-
crabs? Just in
I
general?
just think that they're funny. Yeah.
Well, I mean, two things here. Number one, this game came out on April 1st. So I don't know if it was supposed to be like an April Fool's joke or something, because it seems a little ridiculous. But number two, don't crabs walk side to side and not straight ahead?
Typically,
What do you do
yeah,
in
well,
shooters, dude? You strafe the whole time. This is
Yeah.
perfect.
It's perfect for it because you are striding, like you are kiting basically the whole time and crab walking.
Okay. I'm just watching the video on the Steam page, and I don't see a lot of side to side movement here. So
I don't think it's a
taking me
lot,
out of the
but
crab universe.
It kind of reminds me of King of
The
Crabs.
ethos.
Because
And,
the King of Crabs game was multiplayer, and like you popped in and it was basically like it was like a battle royale was King of Crabs. And so I almost feel like this is adjacent to that, but instead it's more roguelike, and there's others like this almost feels like it's going to be like a Risk of Rain, but with crabs instead of King of Crabs, which was like a PUBG of crabs,
But
if that makes sense.
biology-wise, this is more like a crab-like, Bobby, and not like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's a crab.
This is a
light.
crab light because you can walk forward.
Have you guys seen that meme where like some fish or something is fucking with a crab like he's gonna eat it, and the crab just rips off his own arm and throws it at the fish and runs away? It's so funny.
I don't think
It's
I
very
have seen
funny.
it.
Wow.
All right. Well,
I guess
mean,
the first thing.
oh well.
I feel like you
was
guys
just-
need to battle. You guys need to fight.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
we need to
right.
we need to have a fight. You
Crab
know,
battle.
I was
She's
just gonna. Well, I was
Go
just gonna
ahead.
say what's not fucking funny is aliens. I would imagine. You know. So what's Bobby? What's Aliens: The Dark Descent about?
Oh, Aliens Dark Descent. So this game doesn't come out for a little while here, but I want to throw it on the radar just in case. It's not coming out till June 20th. This is an RTS Aliens themed game. It's an RTS, but it looks like it should be a tactical turn-based game. So I'm a little confused. I want to see how this plays out. And I was hoping Nick would be here today because the developer of this game made the Battlefleet Gothic Armada. Is that what they're called? Battlefleet Gothic Armada.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's Tindalos Interactive, and they made those games. And I'm pretty sure Nick has played those games, and I thought maybe he could talk about what the gameplay was like in that, because I assume it's going to be the same in this game, Aliens Dark Descent. Because if you look at the videos and the screenshots, you've got 4 and at times 5 characters that you're moving around on the screen. And in a typical tactical turn-based shooter,
Ooh.
that's a mouthful.
But this is
Um,
real time.
yeah, exactly. This is real time. But in a turn-based shooter, like that's not a problem. You have all these characters, they have all their special abilities or different weapons. Like you go at your own pace. But in real-time strategy, how are you going to control 5 different characters, each with their own unique abilities? That seems like a lot.
I
So
feel like it's a like it kind of probably plays with like a MOBA, you know?
well, we just lost audio on you. Did anyone else hear that?
No, unfortunately,
Mm-mm.
Emilio has died.
Okay.
He's no
Well,
longer
maybe he
with
will be
us.
risen.
It was a
There we
good
go.
run. While
Is that better?
oh
Oh.
damn! And on the third
I'm
second, he
back.
came back. Jesus. Okay.
I see what you did there.
I'm guessing it feels like it plays like a MOBA. Maybe each special ability is on a cooldown, and you
Yeah,
only
but on
have
a
one.
MOBA, you control one character, and that's enough.
Yeah.
You know,
So
but
with Battlefleet and the Battlestar Galactica games, you queue up multiple orders and then it plays like a mini movie and then it pauses. But this is not that. This is full RTS, Bobby.
it says it's an RTS.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. And there's not enough in the footage or the screenshots or the description on the Steam page to lead me to believe that there's anything like that. But again, like if I'm assuming because it's from the developers of Battlefleet Gothic Armada that it's going to play like those games. So I haven't played those games, so I don't know what that is. That's why I was kind of hoping Nick would be around to explain. But either way,
Um,
I love a good Aliens game.
yeah, I mean, I saw this. I could have sworn I put it on the radar a couple of weeks ago. But graphically, it looks good, and trying something new, I'm always down for that.
Yeah.
Later on, I'll be talking about right now I'll talk about it. There's an action RTS, and that's Minecraft Legends. I am not a Minecraft person at all. I don't understand it really. I don't get the appeal, but lots of people love it. So it's crazy that like there's only been Minecraft Dungeons. There was like a Diablo like, and then there's this, which is Minecraft Legends. So it's an action RTS. So if anybody ever played Overlord, um, that was like you play it as a necromancer or something that controls a bunch of goblins. It's something like that. You're controlling a horde by playing music. So you run around the fields and you win over creatures that live out in the fields, I guess, and you use them as your minions, and you attack things. So you can attack dungeons or whatever is in the single player game. But then it looks like what they're pushing here is the multiplayer. So in the multiplayer, you can make your own castles and design. Obviously, it's Minecraft, so you can design it however the hell you want, and it will have to test. It will have to stand against the assaults of various other online people. It's almost like one of those loot while the other person's offline kind of thing. So your defenses see how well your defenses hold up against the internet, that kind of thing. Um, I don't know if there's actual like one-on-one multiplayer. But ACG is the review that I watched, and he said the thing is a blast. And there's like, he said PC was the worst version that he played, because there wasn't a lot of options and the controllers were kind of weird, but that the game is very, very fun. So, yeah, I don't know if this is like something particularly just for Minecraft players. I don't feel like it is. I feel like some other people can get into it, although it does skew for a younger audience.
Yeah, well, it does say on the Steam page online co-op and online PvP. And the reviews are around 70. Looks like on a lot of his. Yeah, I don't know, man. I see anything Minecraft and I'm just not interested, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
graphically, it does nothing from. I think the graphics only do thing. It's nostalgia, right? I mean, that's why people love that look.
Well, that's what the original Minecraft had, is those graphics. And I think you're right. They do cater towards a younger audience. So it's not really the graphics that turn me off. I just know that a Minecraft game, and this was the complaint about the other Minecraft game, the one that was a dungeon crawler, was that, yeah, it's good, but it's like a really dumbed down version of a dungeon crawler,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's targeted towards really little kids. So anytime I see something like this, I just kind of know that it's going to be a little too simple for me.
I will say though, I think it's cool that it's relatively new. Like an action RTS, and also the whole base building and base defending thing. So I like you guys know by now, I like new things, and this is newish. So
Yeah.
they could have easily just put Minecraft into a first-person shooter or something like that, but at least they're trying to try new things.
That's true. I'm kind of the same way though. I still don't really like Minecraft either though, for some reason. I mean, crafting survivals are my fucking jam, but Minecraft has just I've never been able to stick with it, and I'm not exactly sure too much why. I know graphics is part of it, but I don't know, there's just something lacking with it too, to me at least.
I'll play Minecraft with my brother, and I'll be like tending to a garden and, mining with my pickaxe. And I'll turn around and he's like, Christian, I just got redstone and we have lights in our place controlled by this power plant. And look at our automated sheep harvesting thing. Look, the sheep fall down here, they reproduce, they die, and then they go back to the top. And I'm like, dude, you've lost me. Like, it's too much. You've automated stuff. And so I feel like for the automators, Minecraft is really awesome. But for someone who likes to play crafting survivals, for the more survival element, maybe not so much. I don't know.
But before
Yeah.
you log off, bro, look at my petunias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for real. Yeah. And it's interesting because what you were talking about too, Emilio, with like music being a decent part inside of the game, right? 'Cause that
Yep.
was this one. Another game that I think has some great music with it is Slayers / Terminal Aftermath: Vengeance of the Slayer. It's a long ass name. For a cool ass game. I'm just gonna put it that way. It's coming out soon. I don't exactly know when, but it is a retro shooter straight out of the 90s pretty much, which I played the demo for quite a while, and yeah, it gives me a lot of Doom vibes, but it's playing metal, and like the music in this is just awesome. And so you're kind of like you're trying to be like an ex-slayer is what they call you. You're like this dude that has his like twisted music, and you're trying to blow everything up. And so I don't know. It looks like it's really really cool. This was put on the radar by Burn Division, which he and hopefully we are gonna have like a crossover podcast with his podcast, Breathing New Life, that is about new metal. And so this game kind of has parts of that as well. But I mean, I played the demo of it, and this shit's just fun. You're like trying to shoot and kill these psychos, and they're just saying like ridiculous shit, like "Yeah, take that, mom. Zane, where's Zane?" Like, and it's just to me, it's so funny. And at one point, like the toilet clogs, and a bunch of like killer poops are after you, and you could take like shotguns and rockets and blow them all up. This game's awesome. I definitely would recommend the demo because it's just fucking funny, very hilarious. And I'm looking forward to when it comes out. But when it comes out, I don't know. Soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be fun. Music definitely helps carry things sometimes.
Yeah, the music is awesome in this. It's really really fucking good.
Kill everything. Next up, that I don't know if it has music or not. Predecessor. It is it's a 3D, third person MOBA. And as soon as I read third person MOBA, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if those are the assets from the Epic game. I can't remember.
Paragon.
Paragon. And then so I saw the first shot and I was like, oh, I know that temple. Yeah, this is Paragon assets. But that doesn't mean that like I should instantly be like, oh, that's gonna be shit, or nothing like that. Not actually. Kudos for taking advantage of an opportunity. I think there's been a few of these though. I can remember probably about 4, maybe, and this looks good. I mean, they all look good. I think a lot of people take.
Are you saying there are 4 other games that use the assets from Paragon?
At
Or
Yeah,
least,
I
4
want
yeah.
to say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Because I
yeah.
remember when that happened, when Paragon went away and they said, don't worry, like where the assets are going out there and people are going to make their own games. And then I don't ever remember seeing any of them.
Oh, there's been a fuck ton, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just did it. Having an idea and also having a resource doesn't also mean that you're good at business and you're good at everything else. The online part of it, like there's so much facets. Although it does give you a head start, it doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. And I liked Paragon and I liked where it was going. Me and if it was up to me, all MOBAs would be third person. I think it's the superior one, but I've never been into the clicky stuff. So anyway,
I
I'm
find it
glad
so
that
hard
somebody's
to line up skill shots in a third person perspective. Like it's hard to gauge
hard.
Yeah.
distance.
Skill issue, dude.
Good.
No, just joking.
It's a skill issue. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know, dude. Fucking
get better.
guaranteed hits is ridiculous to me. Like the
No,
thought
there's
of it.
not guaranteed hits in a top-down MOBA, though. I mean, you still have to aim skill shots depending on the ability you're using. But I'm just saying it's not that it's hard. It's like by that logic, you could say covering one eye while you play a video game makes it more difficult. Therefore, it's better. It feels like unnecessarily bad. And I didn't realize that until I started playing these
Wrong,
top-down.
wrong, so wrong.
don't
First
know.
of all, more immersive because it's closer to real life. Second of all, you can sneak up on people
And
from
that's
behind.
not any sort of point towards like the value of a video game that it's more realistic. I mean, it's kind of like cool
Oh.
sometimes, like, yeah, but like that doesn't make a good video game. Like video games aren't realistic in general.
Then let's just go strike the word immersive from every video game review for the last 50 years. And as a
I mean,
positive
immersive
thing.
just means you forget about the outside world. Like it draws you in. It doesn't mean that it's realistic.
Yeah.
It's a different
Okay.
experience, Bobby. Not necessarily
Yeah.
negative. Keep your top-down shenanigans, on your side of
The
the
one
MOBA line.
the part I really liked is that you can sneak up on people or be snuck up on if you're not
Mhm.
constantly looking
Yeah.
behind
So when
you.
you play the game, you constantly have to snap back and look behind you, which is just a weird way to play.
It's immersive.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I also prefer top down, just
Yeah.
for the record.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so does everybody else. These third-person MOBAs never really caught on, except for Smite, which has done pretty well. I mean, not like as good as the other ones, but it's like maintained its audience, which is impressive over all these years.
10,000
Yeah.
playing now. I played.
That's 1,000.
Oh yeah, sorry, 1,000. Wow, I just made up a number. 1,000 playing now. I played another one of these games called Overmind the Champion, or I forget, but it had a player count of like 300. But it was exactly Paragon, like as far as I could tell, no changes. And this looks very similar to
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the environments look exactly like, but I think the character's new, right?
I don't notice a new character here, but
Oh, maybe I'm complete. Maybe it's been so long that I forgot.
It's
the
been a
original
while since
characters.
Paragon. I will say these assets are starting to look pretty dated, though. When was Paragon out? Like 2015? It was a while ago.
We should tell
dated.
TF2 they should move the top down so we don't have to look behind
TF2 is
ourselves.
not a MOBA; it's a first-person shooter.
Just saying.
The real issue that I have, and I noticed this when I went back to Smite, is that when you shoot your abilities, you gauge the distance by adjusting what is that, like the vertical yaw or whatever. I don't know. Like you move your character's view up and down. So in order to shoot very far, you have to move your plane of view very low to the ground. So it's actually a little more difficult to see the ground and how far you're shooting it. So I don't know. It's like counterintuitive. It just doesn't work well with that. But it's all a matter of preference, I guess. It
Oh, but
doesn't
do you have
matter.
your I feel like you have your controls inverted, right? Because like if I wanted to shoot something far, I think I mouse down like towards myself. No.
Yeah, no, that's what I do too. But it
Oh,
changes
okay.
your your angle of view.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
Totally.
closer to the ground. So imagine
Yeah.
like getting on the floor and looking out towards someone and then trying to guess a distance as opposed to being up high and looking down on the ground and guessing the distance.
What a
So
you have such a god complex, dude. Looking down.
just want to look down on everyone.
If we don't
That's
move
it.
on, Amanda's gonna just start playing Valheim. She's gonna be having a great
Yeah.
fucking time.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it for On the Radar. Let's talk about some games that we have played.
Yeah, I can start with Smalland, Survive the Wilds. Not Valheim. I played a lot of Valheim as well. Totally separate game, but similar in the sense that you're just a little. I mean, the Viking in Valheim's not little, but they seem like it. So anyway, Smalland, Survive the Wilds is a small person, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of small. You're smaller than bugs, and it's a crafting survival game. It's been such a damn blast. You're like these little I don't know, they remind me of like little fae or fairy people, and like they're so cute. Although I hope we do get wings, then I'm not sure. But Sniper has a group every Tuesday that we've been playing and slowly building and stuff. And these bees, man, let me tell you about these fucking bees. These bees go on patrol, and I'm just trying to gather stuff, like, gather some things from some poppies. And I always got to worry about the damn bees because they will find you and they will run and follow you around. But I'm having a blast so far with this. I typically really love these kind of games because I don't know. I view that cutting down trees and grabbing stone and pickaxing stuff, it's like it's therapeutic in a sense to me. It's kind of like the same as like a Zen garden or something, or like a mandala where you just like you spend all this time creating something beautiful and then it's just gone, and that's fucking life. Like, and so to me, these games are really soothing because it's kind of something like that. I love building a beautiful little house and designing it, and especially playing that with my buds where we can all fuck up an ant, with little things that we found from little fiber and little piece of stone. Like you see this big hammer going around, but it's probably not a hammer. It's probably a little pebble. It's just beating the shit out of bugs with pebbles.
How much time did you put into it?
Oh, I don't think I've put in a crazy amount of time because usually this time zone difference and also working an early shift is fucking me over for trying to like play with friends. So it's only been like 5 or 6 hours, I think. So Sniper might be a better person, or Christian might be a better person to talk about with what's going on and what it's like just navigating through a forest with your friends that are smaller than butterflies.
Yeah.
Sniper, you played this and you also played Grounded.
No, I haven't
Right.
played Grounded. No.
I've played
Oh.
Grounded. I've played it.
Can you compare the two?
I think this is a lot better than Grounded. Yeah,
Mhm.
like this is a lot cooler than Grounded. I think with Grounded, you're basically just killing everything, but here in Small Lands, you can tame stuff. So like I could make a little butterfly garden and potentially have everybody fly on creatures, which is cool. That adds a whole like arc almost element to it.
Mhm.
Whereas Grounded didn't really feel like that to me. Not as much like Ark, but obviously still being a crafting survival. But I would pick this over Grounded any day. This is much more fun.
Oh
Well,
wow.
Grounded's only 4 players, right?
Yeah, Grounded's only 4 players, and I think Small Lands goes up to 10, right, Christian?
Yeah, 10, but they don't have dedicated servers yet, so someone does have to be on. But that's okay with my theory on survival crafting games and how you can play them for a really long time and not get burnt out.
Oh, right.
I think what Small End does different is that your base that you build in a big tree, and it's awesome getting to the top of this. You have to hop on all these mushrooms and these pieces of bark that are on the outside of the tree, and it feels like you're climbing a mountain, even though it's just a tree. And there's like wasp nests on the side, or there'll be ants crawling up that'll try to fuck you up. And when you get to the top, you talk to this little owl, and he says, "Do you want to make this tree your home?" And perfect. So this tree is now your home. There's a bunch of flat land on the top, and you start building your tree house. But as you move into the survival crafting map, there's other trees. And if you climb those trees, you talk to those owls, you can teleport your base to these new trees. So in survival crafting, usually you have this thing where you have a bunch of small bases, and as you move into areas with different resources, you build extra bases. But in Smalland, you just take it with you. So I kind of like that take so far. I don't know. Maybe it'll get boring or cool. It's always cool to make a new base, but definitely a neat little feature.
I think so
Yeah,
too.
I
I
think
like
it's
that a
cool.
lot. I like that
You're like a
it's like
turtle. You're taking your home with you.
Yeah.
that's exactly yeah, it's exactly right. Yeah, it's you're taking your turtle and your shell and all your homies with you with each spot, and then you can ride a wonderful little balloon, like hot air balloon up to the top of it, which is so much fun and just beautiful. And I've used that quite a few times to escape these motherfucking bees that are always coming after you, because you got to watch out, man. They will hunt you down and they'll follow you right to your house. But then if you just hop in that air balloon, they're not going to get you. So that's good because you can move faster than that. So
Bye bye,
it's
sucker fools. Yeah.
yeah.
Right now, we've moved in a bit further. We're on our second tree house. And in the distance, there's this big, humongous looking church. And we haven't run into any human made structures. We found like bottle caps, which are huge, and we need them for certain stuff, but no like, decrepit buildings or anything like that. So I'm excited to keep playing and see what's going on. Looks like there's a winter biome too. That might be the final area. And the game is in early access, so, we're going to get to the end and there's going to feel like maybe not enough content when we get there, unfortunately. But that's just the way these things go. So no knock on the
Yeah.
game.
I would say most crafting survivals are like that. They're kind of always like a work in progress with the community, and part of me does enjoy that, and part of that is frustrating. It's like the gamer in me finds that frustrating because it's like I don't want to pay you money until your game is complete, right? But crafting survivals, like their cornerstone is their community. And so because so much things about the crafting survival is made by that, is made by like the role-playing servers and like the people that are building like essentially little communes together like on a virtual space, right?
Yeah.
And so how those communities are built obviously will impact and be really good feedback for developers to continuously support their one thing. Because like that's the thing, is like revisiting Valheim, I feel like I am back to how it was before when I did burn out. Because yeah, Christian, I think you have a good plan of kind of like, basically it's like it's snacking. You're grazing a survival instead
Yeah.
of just shoving your face in a buffet and then barfing it up because you're done. Like
Yeah,
it's,
yeah. But it's so easy to. These games are so addictive, so fun to
they're
get into.
so addictive.
Yeah, so I totally see it. But I treat it like a D&D session more than like, I don't know, a video game. Like just have a set time, have people show up and see what happens. Yeah.
Christian, I
it's a
want to
great way.
modify. I want to modify your whole thing, even though I don't play these games and I don't play with you.
Okay,
Are you,
perfect.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, how many people in your group? Your D&D survival group?
I don't know. 6 to 8 depending on the day.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, exactly. So 6 to 8, they can't all play every week or whatever the time is, right?
No.
But can those people that missed it make up that time? Like, if you guys played for 3 hours, that person that missed it can play for 3 hours?
No, because it needs to be, the server needs to be when he's online. So the only time that
Oh,
then this is probably a big downside in my opinion to Smalland, is because yeah, obviously I don't like that. I'm on, usually I can game when a bunch of people are still at work. And so like I would have
right.
loved to been able to like make up the time and join in and kind of catch up, but I can't. Like I
Yeah,
can only play when Christian's playing because it's his server.
Yeah. When
gotcha.
they add the dedicated servers, I think I will modify my opinion a little bit on these.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
maybe you can get 1 hour ahead of everybody else,
exactly.
but nobody can go past that 1 hour.
Like we all kind of gentleman agreement to just, if you go on when no one else is playing, just make sure not
Right.
to go a certain amount ahead to not ruin
Yeah.
it for everyone
Yep.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
A true
And that's
commune.
and kind of bringing it back to Valheim, like Fastidious just opened up his server again, and that's actually how he runs his server. Is he has it where it's group and server wide completing the boss, so that way everybody is kind of around the same. Like he doesn't want everybody to be like way too far out there with what they can build and design, because it is like a group of everybody playing together, you know.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I joined Valheim. John and I both bought it and downloaded it and joined your guys' server, and we were told to collect rocks for you guys because, you know, the palace with all the portals needed more rocks, so that's what we did. And then we never played again.
Riveting gameplay.
Riveting gameplay.
Hey, go back to your top-down universe over there, bud.
Come check out this new game with us. You gotta play this cool new game with us. All right, you're on
Also-
rock.
No,
Everyone
I have
has a role.
feeling,
Everyone has a
I
role.
have and I have a feeling that you guys fucking asked, "What can you do to help?" and that was given to you. It wasn't like, "Oh, hey, welcome
dare
for
you-
joining."
How
Pick up
dare
some
you be
fucking
so
rocks.
helpful? Do not be that
No.
helpful. Do not.
I'm being a bit facetious. What was told was, to be exact, was here. Let us show you around, and I think it was Clown Lotion that showed us around. Like, these are the portals that take you to the different parts. Definitely don't jump in this one. This is our most advanced portal. Here's our kitchens. Here's our this or this or this and this, and all these different things. And they're like, and either he or Amanda told us this little shitty swamp looking beach, you can build a house there. And so we're like, okay. So we started building a shitty little shack next to this palace. And I don't know why. I don't know why we did that. But
It's because you had to level it up. Like, you have to build a shitty little piece of a
you have
house.
to build it. You have to
Everybody does. No, everybody does. That's how you level your shit up. That's like, you can't just pop in and it's like, palace, here you go. Like, I mean, you can if you're playing with like SOCOM or something, because he'll break games, and it's great if you want to do that. But with like a survival crafting game, you really got to like put in the work and like build a small little shitty hut and then upgrade it and keep adding to
He's
it.
complaining over riverfront property. He's complaining over prime real estate.
He really is.
They gave you just, the world
Your
was
own
your
swamp.
oyster. Your own
Like Shrek.
swamp.
And he was like 1 star. This place is terrible. Like,
Sure.
Well, all right. Something that I know for a fact is not a crafting survival, because the day Bobby plays crafting survivals, I know hell will freeze over. But instead, hell probably froze over in a different way, huh? Playing Overwatch 2. How was that?
I've been getting back into Overwatch 2 a little bit here and there, but what I really wanted to talk about was the new hero that got released. So there was a big patch, a lot of balances that happening with the game, but the big news is the new hero. And I want to say that this was released at this time because of Earth Day coming up, but I don't think that was the case. This new hero is called Life Weaver, and he's this pretty boy environmentalist who has a flower on his back, big old giant flower on his back, and he's a healer. So he's got a charged healing shot, which I guess is kind of cool. When he dies, he leaves this little thing you can pick up that heals your teammates. But what's really interesting about him is his ability to take the flower off his back and use it as a platform on somebody. So you can take any member of your team and just like raise them up really high in the sky, allow them access to like buildings, or just give
Wait,
them
high in the sky? Wait,
high in the
God
sky.
view? Dude, come
Yep.
on. Come
And
on.
look down, so you can look down on everyone and kill them. And he's also got another ability, which I don't think any Overwatch character had, but you see it's in Heroes of the Storm. It's in World of Warcraft. I think in Warcraft, the priests have it. It's called Life Grip, I want to say. It's where you can, it's like a hook, but you grab one of your teammates and you pull them back to you. Which is a really fun ability. You control people with it a little bit, but it's very helpful in a lot of situations. I know in Heroes of the Storm you can do this, but in Overwatch it actually protects them when you leash them back to you, which seems a little overpowered. But yeah, I mean, I've been having a good time playing this game. It's just I
Is
just
it like
wish I was
one-
better at it. I'm like learning hero by hero, or are they called heroes in that game? I don't know. But I'm just trying to like focus on one particular hero and at a time and slowly get better at it. But I don't know. It's really all about Sea of Thieves right now for me, and I don't want to bore people with that. Even though I had some exciting adventures, Christian and I played some a little bit this week. Nothing too exciting happened on that, but
I learned about the unlockable cats, Bobby. I mean,
Oh, you did? Yeah, I
Yeah.
told them all about cats because I got a cat.
it just follows you around. What did you name it? What's the name of your
Um,
cat?
McGarnagle.
Yeah, Mr. McGarnagle. And Bobby, what did you
Not
name your ship?
Mister. Why are you calling him Mister?
I thought.
But he's got, not only is he a little cat, but I bought an outfit for him. So he's got a little hook hand in place of one of his paws, and he's got an eye patch. He's a
so
real
fucking
pirate
cute.
cat.
That's
Yeah.
adorable.
He's
Dude,
pretty awesome.
We're talking about a digital cat, yeah?
Yeah.
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 Okay. And the first thing you did was mutilate it, yeah?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't mutilated. I mean, it's a pirate
I
cat. It's seen
mean,
some stuff.
gave
It's
it a peg
First
leg,
mate
so-
McGarnagle.
Some
He's been
stuff.
through some.
Now it sees less stuff.
I thought you told me I could only refer to him as Mr. McGarnagle.
No, it's first mate McGarnagle. You can
Sorry,
call him
first
that.
mate. First
Yeah, I'm the captain of the ship. Then it's first mate McGarnagle. Then it's Christian.
Yeah. Wait,
Go
what,
get
That's
some
how it
rocks.
goes.
what's the name of the ship? What's the name of the ship?
Oh, the Scooty Puff Jr.
Yeah, the Scooty Puff Jr. So we were
So I
doing.
bought a ship. You can buy ships in this game,
Yeah.
and when you buy them, you can name them, and then you can like decorate them and level them up. And yeah, it was either going to be Scooty Puff Jr., which if you watch Futurama, you know what that is, or it was going to be Sloop Doggy Dog, and I wasn't sure which one to go.
Oh,
Sloop
Sloop
Doggy
Doggy
Dog.
Dog.
Nice.
That's such a good one.
Yeah, it could
So
have been.
the whole time we were playing, as a quick aside, I keep seeing we're completing these missions, and up on the bottom of our screen it says, I can't even. The name of the ship has completed this mission. What's the name of the ship again?
Scooty Puff Jr.
The Scooty Puff Jr. has got XP. Scooty Puff Jr. has completed this mission. I was like, who the fuck is this person around us? I thought it was just like a ship or a player that was constantly around us. And then near the end of the session, I look back, and in a plaque on the ship is Scooty Puff McJr. I was like, oh god, it was us the whole fucking time. Jesus.
If you do run into another ship, it will show their name. Like it'll pop up like that and show the name of them. We didn't, when Christian and I played, we didn't run into any other ships, which was kind of unusual. I feel like every other time I play that game, it's like people won't leave me alone. I'm constantly having to fight people off.
Sea of Thieves
It
is
was the name change.
yeah, the Sea of Thieves is a good time. I would love to play it with everyone. Love to play it with Emilio, Nick, and Amanda, and of course Bobby, if he would graciously allow us to go on his ship once more.
Well, it's only a sloop, so it only fits 2 people.
Oh,
But
jeez. Okay.
you know, I could save up for a brig or a galleon, and we could have some adventures.
So
but,
fun. So
That would
fun.
be awesome.
It was really fun.
DLG Adventures.
Yeah, and they got a mode now
Dog.
where you can just do PvP. It's like 1v1, boat versus boat, and you just jump right into it. And you do have to bring your own resources, but they are catering to all the people who just want a PvP now. Oh, and I found another way to get ancient coin, Christian. You can get it by getting these Reaper bounties, which you have to do like PvP and hunt people down.
Oh shit.
The ancient coin is like what you can buy with real money, or you can earn in game to buy the really cool stuff like pets.
I can't
And,
buy my cat without it, guys. I was seriously considering. I played like 3 hours, and I was like, "Do I want to pay $10 for a cat? Yeah, why not?
Well,
yeah."
I might get the plunder pass, which is what they call their season pass, because
It always it makes me laugh.
it's a great name, plunder pass. Yeah, because you know how season passes work. They show you all the cool stuff you could be getting as you level it up, and you get some of the stuff, but then they show like, well, if you have the plunder pass, then you could be unlocking all this.
Are you in it?
I am at level 89 this season, and the max is 100. So if I get the plunder pass, like I just unlock all these cosmetics, I get more ancient coin, I get all this stuff. Like I may do it. I mean, $10, what the hell? As much as I'm playing this game and will probably continue to play this game, it's probably worth the investment.
Wow. This
It's not an
game's
investment.
amazing that Bobby
not
is putting
investment.
real money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
That
turning
should
a
tell
new leaf,
everybody.
folks. He's
Yeah.
turning
Highly
a new leaf.
recommended.
Well, the other
But
thing
it's not
too
an
is-
investment. Let's just not call it an investment.
It is
Well,
totally.
I guess you get what?
I mean,
Enjoyment out of
cosmetics
it,
are the
right?
only thing you can get in that game. So, and people put a lot of weight into that. When you're sailing around with all your cool stuff, people are like, okay, oh, you've unlocked that commendation. You've got this. Like, all right, that, you know what you're doing.
Mr.
But-
McGarnagle commands a level of respect.
Yeah. When you see McGarnagle, you know what's up. But when you buy the plunder pass, it's good for, I think, a season. I don't know if you have to do it every month. I think it's for the season, and the seasons last a long time. I'm not sure on this.
Like 3 months, maybe, like a real season.
Yeah, well, I think like the next season's in July, season 10, the 10th season. And how long's that game been out? So
Oh yeah. Well, that's not a good, because when did they start doing this?
yeah, when
Plunder
they start doing
Pass.
the season pass, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
they've only had 10 seasons, and it's April right now, and the next one's not till July, so at least 3 months. I mean, season 9's been going on for a while.
We should.
All he's doing is sharing his thought process on spending this $10.
The
They're spending $10.
justification for the
It's
$10.
July. There's only 10th.
I could work it into the budget.
Yeah.
$10
Yeah.
for 3 months. Yeah.
Guys, we need to prioritize a Sea of Thieves. Now, look at the joy on Bobby's. When's the last time we've seen something this joyous make him smile?
It's a similar situation to Emilio and The Witcher. It took me multiple times to coming back to this game. And this game had like everything. It's like, okay, pirates, it's got ship battles. Remember when I was crazy about Blackwake? I stayed up till like 6 a.m. Well, the night I discovered Blackwake, like I played that game for like 8 hours straight on a work night. And yeah, dude, like ship battles, like everything that I absolutely love. And I'm like, why can't I get into this game? And then it really took, I don't know, time and getting sherped by some people who knew what they were doing, just running into people who are just like explaining to these really basic things that I just would have never figured out. I think it was like a combination of things, but it finally took. Like right now,
It's
I'm
not
just like,
intuitive. I will
No.
not give it
no,
that.
they drop you in and it's just like, there it is, man. Figure it out. It's like a Elden Ring or a Dark Souls type of thing where it's just, you have to discover it on your own.
Which is
How do
kinda
I
cool.
get my map out? Oh, right click 3 times. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And the radial menus, I got to play around with that because I've seen some people stream and play and I'm like, how are they getting around and doing things so fast? They must have changed the default settings. But yeah, you got to press Q and then F and then like 3 to load this. And then if you want to load like, oh, I don't want cannons or cannonballs. I want blunder bombs. And okay, I got to press Q, then R, then F. It's like all this weird stuff.
In 2 weeks'
it's
time, Emilio, you've been working so hard. I see it on your face. I see it on your beard. I hear it in your voice. Take a Friday off. We'll all play Sea of Thieves. I think we would have a great, unforgettable time, you know? That's my pitch.
down.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with that game. I've liked it since the first time I played it.
And it's on Game Pass, so everybody can
And
play it.
Bobby likes pirate games so much that I feel like might be his destiny. You have anything to say about that,
Oh.
Amanda?
Yeah, it just might be his destiny. And speaking of
It might be
destiny,
your
obviously
destiny, too.
That's right.
Oh.
Destiny 2 is
like
a
my
game that
segment
I've played quite a bit. It's also another game that has been out for a very fucking long time, like Sea of Thieves. And it still continuously is great. It is free on Steam, which is cool. And it's still showing. I mean, it's got 76% and mostly positive, but I started getting into this, being shown by a Sherpa who's got a lot of hours in this game, and I'm still confused. So, it's a lot. It's like a shooting looter shooter, open world MMO where there are 3 different kinds of classes that you could have. I first started with a warlock, which apparently I'm hearing is one of like the harder ones to start with. And so then I made another character that was a hunter. Because the game's kind of buggy, but it's a lot of fun because you can get into these, I don't know what they're officially called, but like these mounts, and they remind me of like the speedsters in Star Wars and shit, because you're stupid.
The
like, you're just,
speedsters?
yeah. I'm fucking up all the words. Nick's not here, so I have to try to channel a little bit of him with the misinformation.
No, I like
but-
speedsters. I think I'll call them
Yeah.
that now. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they go so fucking fast and it's awesome. Like, and so they have those. So you have mounts to kind of like get around if you want to. There's missions and stuff that you can join in on and kill a lot of bosses and fight people. And it's just, I've been having so much fun trying all the different guns. The aim assist is awesome. So if you're super drunk like I was Saturday night trying to figure out how to play this game, the aim assist just makes you feel like you're a god because you're going to still kill most people. So which is fantastic. So it's pretty relatively easy, but there's so much going on in the game. And it's funny because my buddy, when he was trying to like guide me how to play this, because it's just overwhelming when you join an MMO that has been going on for years, right? And I kind of did the same to him because recently I also started playing Elder Scrolls Online again, and I realized how difficult it can kind of be to be like, where do we start? Where do you start? There's so many options, right? There's so much shit that you can do that you just kind of get paralyzed and like where to start and go first, you know? And so I kind of felt like Destiny 2 has that, at least for me right now. So it almost is like a high learning curve in itself. And so I'm really looking forward to spending more time and actually playing this and learning more on how to play it and things like that. And my buddy, hopefully, too, with Elder Scrolls Online, because yeah, like I said, with these big MMOs that have been out for just years, it can be a lot to take on when it's your first time joining and playing, but it's been so much fun so far. I love running around and just shooting and killing people and getting headshots. I mean, we don't need to talk about again, how easy the aim assist is or anything like that. It's pure skill, obviously.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. So, super fun though, like the ultimate use, like on my warden, or like my warlock or whatever. I had a really cool like fire sword that I was just like slaying the bosses and shit with, and it's beautiful, like it's visually just awesome, and it kind of makes me obviously feel like it's Halo, seeing as Bungie made it, but like it's a wonderful MMO so far, and I'm just having a blast. It's a lot different than the very first time I played it, because I did play this game when it first came out, and it felt very like they kind of had a system that was a lot more like Deep Rock Galactic, at least the last time that I played, where you select your mission and you kind of launch into that, whereas this feels now much more open-ended and open world, and like I would expect something from like Elder Scrolls Online, where you can just kind of go anywhere. And so it's definitely different and has changed, but I dig it.
So this game is when it went to Steam, it went free to play, but I'm looking at all the DLC. There is quite a bit of it here. Looks like
Bobby, was
all
it Destiny 1 or 2 that you got into?
2. Chad really got into Destiny 1, and Destiny 1 I think had a lot of problems that they fixed in Destiny 2, but a lot of us played Destiny 2. I remember when that came out. There was quite a few people in our community playing it, and I got really into it, and there were some fantastic things. I have no idea where the game is at now, but they had a raid, and at the end of the raid, there was obviously a boss fight, but there was also this puzzle that you had to solve also while fighting off these minions and everything. And it was just, I hadn't really experienced anything quite like that. It was really, really awesome. The problem was it was only one of them. Like that was like the only instance that they had. I'm sure there's much more now. The other thing too is the classes. So I think I played as a guardian or whatever the tankier class was. And I just didn't feel enough of a difference between the classes. At least when you went into raids or when you played with other people, it didn't seem like, okay, I'm taking care of like all the damage and protecting everybody, and this person is doing the healing, and then this person's doing the damage. It's more just like, let's all just kill things, but we all do it in slightly different ways.
Our own ways. Yeah.
So
I'm doing it in pink.
Yeah,
and I will say it still kind of feels like that, because like I was playing a warlock and went to a hunter, and what you were talking about was, because they're all three of those are called guardians, but you were talking about a titan is like the tanky one. But yeah, I mean, I'd have to play the titan to really know, but even the hunter to the warlock, like I still feel like it kind of feels the same, you know what I mean? It's still like a shooter going around, and like I said, we're all just killing stuff, but slightly different.
Yeah, it's hard to differ the classes when it's a shooter, because you're essentially just shooting people. You don't have that many abilities, at least not like you would in World of Warcraft. But yeah, even just not even the differences between the DPS classes, but from like there's really not what I'd consider a tank or a healer in that. But I don't know. I haven't played that game in years. This must have been 2018, I think, when it came out, and I was playing a ton of it.
It looks like it came out on October 2019, which, I mean, to me doesn't feel like that long ago. But yeah, I just feel like Destiny 2's been out for forever.
I think that's when it went to Steam.
Oh, probably. Yeah, because I was going to say, I feel like it's been out for a very long time.
Yeah, it was out before that, but it was on what, EA? And I remember I had to do this really annoying transfer thing to get my account onto Steam. But it all worked out, so it was fine. But yeah, this is the only game I ever played on, what was Google's gaming service that failed?
Oh, Stadia?
Stadia, yeah. This is the only game I ever played on Stadia. I mean, not for very long. I just tried it out to see what it would look like.
And,
but this is one of those games where I never, I'm going to argue with Bobby again, that I never understood. He's like, Yeah, I have 110 hours on it, and it's got no end game, and I'm like, whew, like that's hard. That's a hard pill for me to swallow. Like if you pay 100, and Chi was in the same camp. You guys had both played like 100 hours of this game, and then also said that it wasn't
Well, there
like it
was
had
nothing at the end. I'm
flaws.
sure there is now, but yeah, there was nothing at the end. You know, actually, when I stopped playing, they had just released the first DLC, and that's another thing. People had problems with the DLC and the way they released it. I can't remember what exactly happened, but I think you kind of got punished if you purchased this early. Like you ended up paying more or
Oh,
something, but I don't know. But they had just released this other DLC, and that had a really good I don't know what you call it, a raid or whatever type of content that is. But I mean, it was coming along. But yeah, it takes a long time just to get to the top level, just to be able to do the cool stuff or the cool thing at the time. But
but you had fun getting up to that level, yeah.
I mean, it was kind of grindy, but yeah, it was fun. It's a Bungie shooter, and they got really good gunplay. It's like Halo. It's very satisfying.
But if it
Yeah.
wasn't fun, you wouldn't have continued with it.
Yeah, but I mean, fun's a loose term, man. People sitting in front of the
Oof.
slot machine pumping quarter after quarter think they're having fun, you know?
Do they?
Either it's
Oh
fun
yeah.
or it's fun,
They're having
dude.
fun. I mean, I have fun chopping down wood, so you know what I mean.
Mm.
Take what I'm about to say, like with a grain of salt. This game is a lot of fun.
Let me talk about what was not fun. No, I'm not going to say that it wasn't. It has a very good review on Steam. It is called Star Survivor. I brought it up on the radar probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's another one of these survivor likes, right? Or vampire survivors. Um, it's, these games, you are a central figure and swarms of enemies come toward you. This time it's a spaceship, which makes way more sense to me. Um, you're shooting these aliens as they come, like Space Invader aliens as they come towards you. And it's funny because I'm like, that's not a real vampire survival game, because it's a brand new genre, and I'm like, now I'm a truist, because there's so much to this game, and I'm not gonna slight it for it. I'm just saying it's not what I'm used to. So your spaceship has 4 quadrants, the front, rear, left, and right, and each one has X amount of slots in it. And so when you get an upgrade or a new weapon, you can attribute that upgrade or weapon to one of the slots in one of your quadrants. And then you might get something like a bonus to lasers, right? Like lasers do 10% more damage in this quadrant. So unless you have your lasers on your right quadrant, your left wing, your right wing, it's not gonna. It's useless or whatever. You can pick it or not pick it or whatever, but there's a lot more to this. It's almost like you're running 4 characters at once because each part of your ship is a new character. Um, and besides that, you also have to think about the orientation of your ship. So if you are being attacked by things that are susceptible to lasers, you want to put the laser side of your ship towards that character, to those aliens. Even though they might all be attacking from that side, you want to spin your ship to make sure that you're getting the maximum amount of ownage out of everything. I had a good time with it. But I feel like one of the best factors is like something Bobby had talked about of these vampire survival games is that like it's a reduction of Diablo or something like that, where you're playing, you're upgrading, and then this dumbs it down to just running away from things and then upgrading and having to build something that you made for that run, and it's really rewarding. This makes it a lot more work, way less idle, and I'm not saying it's bad. It's just it's a deviation from what we are grown used to in the last year or whatever, whenever that came out. I like it. I think it's good. I think it makes way more sense in a starfighter type thing. But I don't know. It didn't super grab me right away. But that, I played this game for like an hour or two. So
I think Bobby will like
I
it
need
because it's top down.
top down. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much more precise
I
controls.
feel like the things you're saying about this could be said about that Deep Rock Galactic one that's coming out. Like it's adding a lot more stuff to a very simple idea, and I'm wondering how that's going to play out. But
yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
It's like $4. Like, go buy it, and don't listen to me.
It's
I have no
$4.
idea what I'm talking about.
I thought it was
Yeah.
more than that. Oh,
Pretty sure it's
Okay.
like $4.
all right. Well, before we move on to listener questions, let's give a quick shout out. We got some subs. Recycled 56 months. He says, yo. 56
Yo.
And also, go to dlgaming.net and you can click on a button that says merch, and you can get super cool clothes like this one.
Whoa, that's so similar. Yeah. Who designed that? That's awesome.
pretty
So a little
cool.
too similar, actually. We had
No. It's all it is a fighting game inspired t-shirt. So it has
Yes.
nothing to do with any
Mm.
particular one,
Yes.
Yeah.
but that's what it
Legally.
looks like.
Yes.
And now that you're curious because of the controversy, you can go to dlgaming.net and check out our
Look at these
designs.
Canadian prices on our shirts. Wow.
Yeah, dude. The loony and toony ain't what they used to be. That's what I'll say.
But the
You
decal
can-
stands strong.
The decal is
Right.
decal is strong.
Deco
forever.
staying strong. We've got some cool designs on there, though. Some that look a little, cyberpunky. Some that look a little Bioshock. You got a little
No,
one
not
fighting
Bioshock.
game that. What?
No,
Well.
you gotta be like adjacent. It's like mystical warrior in a subterranean
Nondescript.
fight
Nondescript.
place. Yeah, nondescript.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I
yeah,
said.
yeah.
It's like that. It's
Ah,
light.
yeah,
It's
like a-
Bioshock light. Yeah.
It's a
like
crab like. I got it. Yeah.
It's and so it's perfect. You can get our DLG shield on there. You can get a cool little Steam like logo on
need
there.
more.
All kinds of fun stuff. You can be a winner chicken dinner with that shirt, and yeah, check it out. You can even
Let's be
get
honest.
Poppy.
Poppy's our best one, and Poppy's dead.
And that's why he's our best one.
He lives
in
in our
memory of
hearts.
Poppy.
he lives on in our hearts.
That's right.
All right. We've got some other subs here. Smajef, 36 months. He says, 3 years. Where does the time go? Where does it go indeed, man? That's awesome.
That's right. It
3 year
flies.
mark. All right. And then Tommy Hillnick for 3 months. Love the podcast. Podcast loves you too, dude.
Yeah,
We
thank you.
appreciate it. All right. Man, that's pretty good. 3 subs. It's not even the beginning of the month. We do have some listener questions here. One of these are for Nick, so we'll omit that. And when Nick is back, we'll save that question for him. First one comes from Pyronical. He says, "What are your middle names?"
Do you want my social security? Like, what else do you want, dude? Like, Jesus.
Well, Emilio, who's not there anymore, I mean, he's Mexican, so I think he's got like 4 names. So I don't know if you have a middle name when you have an even number of names, but
Everyone
my
in
middle
family.
name is Edward, which is a family name. It's my grandfather was named Edward. My brother's name is Edward. So, a lot of Edwards in my family. It's a popular name.
I
Robert
would never
Edward.
guessed that.
Robert Edward Digital. It just rolls off the
Robert
tongue.
Edward.
First of all, Bobby, you're a son of a bitch. Listen, in Hispanic cultures, you take the middleest name of the 7 or 8 names, and whatever, and then if it is an even numbered amount of names, then you take the favorite of the 2 middleest names,
Just pick one.
which is why my middle name's Starfire. No, my middle name is Emilio. if you listen to enough episodes, you might know what my first name is.
Mhm.
And I'll
Yeah,
leave
you've
it
mentioned
there.
it before.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's funny. My Mexican girlfriend goes by her middle name too. It must be a thing.
Well, giving somebody two names, like they get the option,
Yeah, take your pick.
which is cool.
It's always
the one they
confusing
like
at
more.
Starbucks though, or whenever you have to like put your name on something.
You put your full name?
What? No. What?
You write
No, because
Robert Edward Digital? They're like, can I get a name? You're like, Mr. Robert Edward Digital to you.
no. Anytime you've got like varying names like that, it can cause problems because there's like the
It does.
official name, and
I will
like,
say that. Yeah.
yeah.
Every time I call a utility, I'm like, ooh, which one did I go with this utility? Like, throw the dice, and they're like, you're a robber. And I'm like, no, I'm not a robber.
Right.
Yeah.
My middle name is Rose. It comes after my great grandmother on my mom's side, who apparently was a badass bitch. So that's comforting. I hated roses growing up. I was like, no. And now it's I originally was like, it's such an old person's name, and I hated my middle name, but now I really enjoy it. And it's probably because I am now an old person.
Nice.
So
Grew into it.
Every rose has its thorn, and every cat has its claws.
I know. I
Yes.
just got scratched the fuck up.
Yeah. Respect your animals, everyone. My middle names are Hank and Alexander. Nothing special. Yeah.
Hey, wait, you have two, and one of them's Hank.
And my whole family has two. Everyone on the French side has two middle names. So
Okay.
Hank, Alexander.
Hank, traditional French name.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
as they say, Honk.
Honk. Yeah.
Honk.
Yeah, Hank sounds like it should be short for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hankerdoodle, but we don't go there.
Hank.
It's a hankering. Yeah. It's got a hankering for that.
Wow. All right. Warconius has quite a few questions here, and they're long, so let's get to these. Recently, I had to go to Bellingham, Washington to get my Nexus Global Entry card, and while I was there, I got some stuff at Trader Joe's. How is this place possible? I'm paying half of what I do in Canada, and everything is relatively high quality. First of all, Canada is super expensive, apparently. But Trader Joe's, I thought that was we have some of those around here, and I always thought they were a little pricey. I don't know, compared to like our typical grocery stores.
I don't know
I
where.
feel like they're bougie light. Like bougie is the Whole Foods.
Yeah, not like
and
they're not quite Whole Foods, but they're just a hair down, a step down.
Yes.
if will.
You might think that, but somehow a lot of their stuff is cheaper than grocery stores.
Hmm.
I think it might have something to do with them. Like, I worked in grocery stores for 20 years, so I know a little bit about it. And something like 60 or 70% of what you're buying in a grocery store is owned by one company, which is Kraft. So they set the prices basically. I think by going around the whole Kraft thing, they can offer cheaper prices on certain items, especially when it's like farm to table stuff like nuts and stuff like that. All that and produce. That stuff a lot of time is a lot cheaper at Trader Joe's. So Trader Joe's in general is a hero in my book.
And they have a podcast apparently, and they're on episode 62.
I listened to
Interesting.
a 2.5-hour podcast with the CEO of Trader Joe's. And before I went to America the first time, I wanted to go to one because it was so interesting. They pay their people who work there the most of any American grocery store, which I thought was cool. I could support that if I wanted to. But also their prices are not astronomical. And they have all these cool, unique products that they filter in, and that's part of their business model. And that's awesome because every time you go, you get something new. And yeah.
Once you have a family with like 4 people, a dog, and 2 cats, you start looking for the advantages here and there. And we shop at 3 places in general. Like it's Trader Joe's. You got to get the bulk in Costco. You get the good stuff at Trader Joe's, and then whenever you have to pick up something quick, you do that wherever you have to do that.
Yeah, maybe I thought Trader Joe's was expensive just because they're kind of
Yeah. Like a
they're
posh,
kind
or
of
not posh,
not posh, but they're more
boutique-ish. It's a boutique.
a little more boutique-ish, a little hipster-ish, a little yeah. But it's kind of funny how we apply those labels. Like if you look at someone driving like a $45,000 truck, you could still like that person could still be called a redneck, but if you look at somebody
Right.
like bicycling to work, you're like, look at this like posh asshole or something. It's kind of weird how like the labels can apply there. But
And they're
yeah, I like
regional.
Trader Joe's.
And
Yeah.
for the Canadian situation, we're owned by three monopolies. There's three grocery chains in Canada. I mean, there's more, but there's three big ones, and they go to court for things like price fixing on bread and collaborating between each other on prices. So generally, stuff here is pretty high as well.
I
Oh,
find
you know what's funny? I'm sorry, Amanda. For those that don't know, that like the staples for keeping people alive, like eggs, bread, milk, maybe one or two things more. That's all controlled by the government. Like that's I would say that's probably a good thing, because like in times of strife, you can't price gouge. Yeah, so that's a good thing. I think it is. I don't know like how that plays out long term, but man, we're getting deep grocery over here. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just
Tune
gonna
in
say
next
too, like
week. Sorry.
grocery stores are so fascinating. Of course they are. Like, I mean, it's a cornerstone of the human experience is to eat, right? And so, like, it makes sense that where we get our groceries to. I love traveling and seeing all the different groceries that everybody has, like
Yeah.
West Coast, and it's always like this subsidiary of like basically a fucking Kroger. Like, it all comes from kind of Kroger, which to me is I kind of view the hierarchy of, of grocery stores. This is based off of nothing but anecdotal evidence of traveling all around the United States for 3 years and like using a lot of different grocery stores. But like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's are kind of bougie. Like Trader Joe's is like bougie light because it is cheaper and it's really cool. A lot of the special products and the things they have. Nobody can afford Whole Foods. And then and then below Trader Joe's, it would be like the regional grocery store chain. Like for example, to me in California, it was very much Safeway. You guys have Safeway and like what is it?
Yeah.
Albertsons, I think is the other one
Yeah.
that's like kind of the same. And then
Yep.
you have like in some places Vons are really nice and in some places Vons are fucking dumpy. And so it's just like it's interesting with those ones. That's regional. Where I'm at now in Pennsylvania, it's all Giant Eagle. In Texas, they have HEBs, which are fucking awesome because I
They're
do love
awesome.
they're so awesome. I
They
love the
don't
like
look great,
local.
but quality wise, like I
Well, and
mean, price for quality.
they do local shit all the time, which is what's the coolest to me because it's like a bunch of people are making their own stuff there. Like Bluebell ice cream is made by Texans in Texas for Texans, and like I love that shit. And Meyer in the Midwest is kind of like that. In Michigan, we have Meyer, and so it's so awesome that each place kind of has their regional local grocery store chain in a sense, even though I'm sure they all still come from like Kroger and Kraft, shit like that. But then you have like Aldi, which is like the much cheaper one that a lot of people will go to as well. And that's kind of like your pseudo bulk, not for bulk. And then you have your bulk ones of Costco and Sam's Club. And that's the rundown of the million American grocery store chains.
We should have a fighter, like a fighting game, but it's a grocery. The
Oh
characters are
my
grocery
god, that would
stores.
be
Are just
hilarious.
actual grocery stores
Yeah,
fighting,
yeah,
like anthropomorphic grocery
yeah,
stores doing
totally.
combat.
Yeah.
That's actually a great fucking idea, dude. Because like I can just imagine like the Myers dude being like, yeah, and already adding an S that isn't even there. He would just be like the derpiest fucking fighter who like you just wouldn't think work, but then he ends up like sweeping house anyway.
Yeah, Trader Joe's is throwing like these peanut butter brookie bombs, and he's like jumping around the screen.
Right?
Kroger combat.
It's just you could just hear the beep beep.
All right. Final question from Warconius here. He wants to talk about gaming demographics. He says, what impact do you think demographics have on popular game design? The transition to more character-based games with social aspects could be more millennial-friendly, like Stardew Valley, Fortnite, and Overwatch, versus the more dark, brutal, and solitary experiences of Gen X, like Doom, Counter-Strike, and Command & Conquer.
It's hard
And
to say, man. Like I don't know what is the most consumerist of digital goods demographic. Oh, Christian knows, right? You would know probably.
I was distracted. Sorry. What's the question?
The the most profitable demographic for digital goods or video games, I guess, to be more specific.
well, he's provided some statistics here. So, according to a study, more than half of PC gamers in 2020 were millennials, aged 23 to 38. And another survey says this is just in Western countries. Millennials make up 42%, Generation Alpha 19%, Generation Z or Z 20%, and Generation X 19%. It's like an even split on all the generations except for millennials.
Well, I can believe that. I mean, like a lot of, speaking as a millennial, like growing up, video games were a big part in our life kind of early on. But in the sense that, like, a lot of us can still remember not having video games and going outside and playing with grass. So it was kind of like when technology got to the point where video games were pretty big and most people in their households could afford it, which I would argue is a lot of the millennial generation. You know, as kids, they can get like Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo and things like that. And so it was more accessible for everybody to have it in the millennial generation, whereas the earlier generations, like I'd imagine Atari and things like that, and like even the very first computers, it was kind of like those that could really afford it because they were so expensive since they were so new. Not every household had them, whereas by the time you hit like the mid 90s and late 90s, like everybody had video games. And then
Mhm.
that just continues on. But then now we're finding like I would assume that like a lot of, a good chunk of millennials have kids and are also playing video games with their kids now. So there's still a consumer and one that's teaching the younger generation of like video games as well.
Yeah, I just don't know if any of that has much of an impact on game design. Like if people, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, but my guess would be no, because with movies, you have something people talk about a four quadrant movie. It's got to appeal to all four quadrants: men, women, adults, children. That's why, like, someone will have a movie, they'll screen it for like producers or whoever's trying to make money, and they said, "Well, there's no interest in this movie. You got to put a love interest in this movie so the women want to see it as well, or they're entertained by it." So, like in movies, that's a really common thing, is appealing to demographics. But I don't, I don't know with video games. Like, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody in like developing games say like, this has to appeal to like both men and women, or this has to appeal to women or children. It always feels like they're following the trends of whatever the really popular games are that are already out there. I don't know. Video games are, it's hard to like figure out what's going to be a hit. The only thing that I can think of, the only example is just games that are just purely cashing in on nostalgia, like games that are resurrecting an old franchise, like a reboot or a remake of like an old 90s game, or games that are using a graphical style of like a 16-bit or 8-bit. But like those aren't big tentpole games either.
On Steam, the highest selling games are strategy games, and what is cool about what he shared here is he's saying more than half of PC gamers in 2020 were millennials. I know I've looked at charts where every year PC gaming and console gaming falls and mobile gaming grows. So I would assume the effect on game design is just a movement to mobile gaming kind of in general.
Well, I will
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit. I feel like the reason we probably can't put the tail on the donkey is that when mobile games do their most predatory things, it's for humans. It doesn't matter what generation you are, or like there are certain triggers that will, just click. It doesn't matter. They're throwing all the paint on the wall and seeing what sticks, and paint sticks
Yeah, but they're
to
trying to get
the whole
whales, and
wall.
those are typically older people who have jobs and money. Like they wouldn't be targeting like really young people.
Or young people that have parents that have credit cards linked to their accounts
Yeah,
and spend
that's
30,000. I think they're going for just humans in general. The weakness is in in the human structure, or whatever we want to call it. Anyway, I'm gonna keep drinking. What's next?
All right. Well, here's one last part of that question. Guess what country has the highest percentage of PC gamers at 46% of the
Ooh.
total population? So this doesn't mean like the total number of gamers. This just
Yeah,
means the
yeah.
highest percentage.
Per capita.
Mhm. And he has a hint. It says calling it a country can be politically charged.
Got to be Taiwan then,
Oh.
right?
It's got to be Taiwan. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Russia though.
Well,
was
they're
gonna
right
be
next
my
to
guess.
China. I think we all consider Russia a country, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna say we all consider Taiwan China.
Oh, yeah, dude.
well, no, I'm just saying
Jesus.
because it's right next to China, and I figure China's got to be like way up there, and Taiwan is so
Yeah.
close to it that it's probably the same. Yeah, I wonder
I
where the
would've never
U.S. falls
guessed.
on that.
Says it's Taiwan.
Well, it's not just that, but Taiwan's economy has exploded over the last 20 and 10 years.
In 2020, Taiwan had the highest PC gaming reach.
Interesting.
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 Interesting. Gives us a real top-down approach on that.
We're gonna
Yeah.
have to boost our ad sales in Taiwan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Totally.
all right.
Alongside with our Learn English Quick course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should just market this podcast as like a way for
Yeah.
Taiwanese to learn English.
Yeah. It would be Bobby's English, Amanda's English, and whatever Emilio speaks.
Yeah.
So
what's
that's
everybody playing today or
Oh.
playing next week?
Yeah.
So last
don't
week I
know.
said Tainted Grail, and I'm going to stick with that this week. If I can get away from Sea of Thieves for enough time, I'm going to play Tainted Grail.
Dude, I love that you found something that you tend to play a lot. I was gonna say but I don't know when you like something.
Yeah, no, it finally clicked for me, man. I'm totally into Sea of Thieves.
I'm so glad.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Amanda, what do you got?
Yeah, for me, I'm probably, oh man, it's going to be a fucking mix because I don't have any plans for this upcoming weekend, which means it's going to be like this weekend, which is a lot of gaming, but it's a lot of
Yeah.
old shit. And so it's probably going to be, we got Smalland on Tuesday. And then it's probably going to be a mix of Destiny 2, Valheim, and Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah.
Nice. It's funny. It's like I work 7 days this week, so I did not have any time for gaming. But
Okay, Bobby.
when I was streaming through, when I was like looking through what I had to play, when I saw Returnal, I was like, oh my god, I haven't played Returnal in like 8 days. I need to get back to that. I've also been playing a little bit of Hogwarts here and there, like very little, like. Yeah, I mean, when I play, I'm like, oh, like I'm 4 hours in and I've barely put my shoes on. Like there's so much. There's so much. And by the way, I really like the African girl. I forget her name.
The Gryffindor.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
great. I thought the voice acting was great. Throughout the whole thing, I'm really, really enjoying that. But it's probably going to be Acid All. What is that game called? I was just playing it right before. Oh, Loon Acid. Yeah. So I will probably be playing Loon Acid this week, if I have any time at all.
Yes.
Not building.
Well, hopefully Nick
buildings.
will be back next week because I really do want to hear about Resident Evil 4, the remake. I think he's been playing that, but I'm not sure where he's at with moving into the new place. But hopefully he'll be returning.
From in Texas, everyone. If you see him, say hi.
Yep.
Say howdy.
Howdy. Yeehaw. Give him a yeehaw.
Yeah. Okay. Close this out.
Yeah. Now,
Yeehaw,
speaking
yeah.
for Christian, Bobby, Amanda, and myself, a good Texan, a big set of Texan titties.
Jesus fucking Christ.